Welcome to the Irresistible You podcast. This is the place to get a dose of empowerment to create the life you crave and deserve. My name is Amy, and I'm the founder of Irresistible University. Through my podcasting courses, I teach women just like you how to ditch the body image issues, gain confidence, and lose the emotional weight to look and feel irresistible at any size. If you like the podcast, you're going to love the Irresistible You online course and VIP private podcast. If you want to learn more about it, head on over to irresistibleicing.com/course and grab your seat today. I am so burnt out with weight loss. Burnt out. I am sick of food. I am sick of just nothing tastes good. I'm sick of the meals. Like I am just feeling completely utterly burned out on all things weight loss journey, and I want to share that with you today. I want to clarify that I still want to lose weight. I still care deeply about my health. I am not giving up on my journey, but I am just burnt out. I have been I've been feeling like this for quite a while. I think it's part of the reason why I've just been kind of maintaining for a while because I haven't actively been trying to lose weight. As you know, it's always in the back of our head that we want to lose weight, but I haven't really been putting in the effort. I haven't been putting the effort or the work. So I have been maintaining for quite a while, which I just want to say is not a fail. It's not a bad thing to maintain. For those of us that have been on the yo yo diet, body image shame cycle for most of our life, probably our entire life, and have constantly gained and lost and gained and lost and lost and gained, when you are at a place in your life where you're mentally and emotionally healthy to where you're not constantly on that cycle, that's a huge win. It's a huge accomplishment to maintain your weight. When you have always been someone who consistently would put weight on every single time shit hits the fan. And shit hits the fan all the time, as we know, cuz life be lifin'. And I just thought I would come on and share this with you all because I'm sure you can relate on some level, but I'm just completely burnt out with weight loss and I have been feeling like this for a long time. I want to talk about when I sit back and think about it, my thoughts around food are very minimal. They've been very minimal over the last couple years since I started on Tirzepatide, which is a GLP-1, compounded GLP-1. And one of the benefits of GLP-1 is it blocks out a lot of that food noise. It makes you feel full, which is great, but it also is doing something on the brain that is causing you to not obsess and think about and plan meals constantly. And I think this has a big part to do with where I'm at because it has it has allowed me to feel normal, to feel what a normal person probably feels like when it comes to food. And when I say normal, I mean someone who just eats because they're hungry or eats because they need to survive. As an emotional eater, a lifelong emotional eater, recovering binge eater, I never knew that piece. That piece didn't exist to me because it was always something that I was fighting against, right? And having to constantly throughout the day redirect thoughts and, you know, it's exhausting. It was absolutely exhausting. And being on the GLP-1 really lessened the mental load of thinking about food, planning food, all of those kinds of things. The tracking. I don't track my food anymore. And over the last few months, I still have my Weight Watchers app. I still pay for it every month, but I don't use it. I will go months without opening the app. And I thought, okay, if you really want to get back to it, if you really want to start, actively getting this weight off, this last like hurdle of weight, we've got to start tracking because we need to know where we are. And that's true. And I'll start tracking my food in the morning, a little bit at lunch, and then I'm just freaking done. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want one more thing on my plate. No pun intended. I don't want one more responsibility, obligation, app, thing that I have to do every day because my plate runneth over already. And I think that's what it is just this burnt out feeling about I don't want to think about it. I just want to be hungry and I want to eat and I want to stop when I'm full and I want to be done and I want to go about my day. And I think that I know that being on a GLP-1 over the last couple of years has given me that freedom. It has given me that peace that I don't have to track my food. I don't have to sit there and do mental math. How many of you sit there and you can literally do the mental math? The old like these are habits that have been ingrained in us. I still think like this at times. I still go to the store and see things in points and calories and oh, you can't have too many of those, you can't have too many of this, you can't have too many of that. And honestly, like losing the weight that I've lost since I've been on the GLP-1, I'm not going to say it's come easy because I never think weight loss is easy, but I don't have to sit there and track every little thing that goes in my mouth because that is exhausting. Weight loss journeys, especially a lifelong journey with weight, is a mental exhaustion that no one talks about. It is a lifelong mental exhaustion. Being on a weight loss journey your entire life, struggling with your weight your entire life, it is mental exhaustion. It is a mental exhaustion that no one is talking about. It is a constant mental load around thinking about food all day, meal planning, meal prepping, eating the same healthy foods all the time because it's easy, the working out, the tracking, the guilt, the what I call the yo-yo diet body image shame cycle where you're constantly going back and forth between hating how you look, wanting to lose weight, but then wanting to eat and then eating too much and then being guilty and pissed off at yourself because you did that and then promising yourself you're going to start over on Monday. And at some point, your nervous system is done. It's done. And I think the last couple years I have really moved away from all of that. And it's one of the reasons why I've been maintaining and kind of plateaued for so long because I'm not putting in the active energy that it takes. Like I'm maintaining, and if I want to lose this last round of weight, I know that I have to, restrict a little bit or I have to burn more than eat less, move more, whatever. I know that there's some things that I have to do and I just haven't wanted to do it. And I think that's the key that you need to have that conversation with yourself. The conversation you need to have with yourself around your weight loss journey is do I want to be doing this right now? Because if you don't want to be doing it, then don't be mad at yourself when the scale isn't going down. If you don't want to be doing it, you cannot sit there and beat yourself up because you're staying the same or you're gaining weight or you're not seeing any, traction with the scale because you have to be fully mentally locked in order for this to work. And admitting it's important to admit to yourself I want to lose weight. I'm just not ready to do it right now. That's okay. You don't have to be ready to do it right now. You just have to be honest with yourself and not create some bullshit story that everybody's out to get you and that nothing works for you when you're not even trying. And I think when it comes to like tracking food, you get mentally burnt out because you're not just tracking your food for a couple of days. You've been mentally, whether you were putting it in an app, you was writing it on a piece of paper back in the day, girl, at Weight Watchers, you had your little paper book, whatever it was, you are mentally burnt out from literal decades of monitoring everything that goes in your mouth. Nowhere in our lifetime is that normal behavior. It's just not. People don't sit around and track every morsel of food that goes into their body. And remember, BLTs, you better track your BLTs. If you're Weight Watcher OG, you know what I'm talking about. They would say, you got to track your BLTs, your bite, licks, and taste. Bitch, please, I'm not tracking bite, licks, and taste anymore. I'm not doing that. I'm 44 years old. I'm tired. I'm done. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do all that. And I don't think we have to be so tightly wound up and like just, you're just so tightly wound up that you don't have any freedom in your life with food. That is a problem. That is a problem if you are living like that. And I have felt so free the last couple of years, especially, that I don't feel like that anymore. If I see something and I want it, I eat it. And being on a GLP-1 is not a magic cure. It's not a magic shot. Like there are times that you will overeat, like you're just going to. But I will tell you for the majority of the time, I have a couple bites, I enjoy it, I eat what I want, and I put it away or I throw it away. And it's so great when we order Cheesecake Factory cheesecake slices and for like 3, I'm not kidding you, for 3 or 4 days, Frank is like, "Oh my god, you still got that cheesecake?" Yeah, I do. Because I'll eat a little bit and that's all I want and I put it away and I enjoy it the next day. And I'm just burnt out with food. Like lately when it comes to cooking, first of all, y'all that know me, I hate cooking. If I was like so rich I don't know what to do with myself, I would totally have a private chef. I would have a cook because if I never had to cook another item again in my life, I would not be mad about it. I would not be sad about it. It would be the best thing ever. When I tell you I hate cooking, I hate cooking. And as of lately, whenever it comes to like dinner time, which I always hate that. What's for dinner? Right? Like if there's something you're going to do the rest of your life, it's having to figure out what to eat for dinner. And especially as a mom, like I can't skip dinner. I can't you just can't. You got kids, you got people to feed, but there's a lot of times like I make the kids food and I don't want it and I don't eat it. I might eat a little bit of like charcuterie plate or something later on in the evening, but I don't want the food because everything sounds gross. Everything looks gross. Everything tastes gross. Last night yesterday afternoon, we had a afternoon by the pool and I went and got stuff to grill and we made burgers and I was starving. Like I could hear my stomach. I was starving. I was ready to eat. And I took a couple bites of the burger and I was like, this is really good. I already feel full, but I also feel hungry at the same time. Like I am just all cracked up over here. Like I feel hungry, I start eating, I feel really full, I can't eat anymore, and I put it away. And I know a lot of that is probably the GLP-1 doing its job and like, it is what it is, but it's like I'm also so burnt out on food. I don't know if that's an age thing also, where like I've been around for 4 decades and we're just tired of eating food, the same types of food, the same types of things. I do try to mix it up because I do get bored. And I will hyper fixate on a certain meal for like a couple days or maybe even a week. And what's crazy to me is my breakfast. I've been eating literally the same type of breakfast for like 15 years, which is crazy because I could never, and I say never, eat the same thing for dinner for 15 years. There's just no way. There's literally no way that's happening. But yeah, I'm just burnt out, but I also really want to lose the last chunk of weight. And again, no pun intended. I probably want to lose like another good 30 pounds and see where things land. Um, at 30 pounds, that would put me at like 170. I haven't been 170 since, girl, I can't tell you when. It was sometime back in high school. I don't even know. But I would love to, and right, and that was when I thought I was super fat, and I'm like, if only, if we only look like that now. I don't know where things are going to be at 170 for me at that point. It's kind of like let's just get there and then we'll figure out if that's our happy place or do we need to go down a little bit more? I don't know. I don't know. But I do want to lose the weight. I do want to get it off. I do want to feel better. And I don't know. It's just such a crazy thing because I just feel so burnt out. And whenever I see like fitness people, I just change the channel. I just flip this. I scroll up. I don't want to see it. I don't care. Um, Maybe I'll get back into that at some point because I have not been working out. I mean, I stay active as far as like going for walks and going swimming, running after the kids, like always going places, but not like, active, intentional. Let me go to the gym. Let me lift some weights. Let me burn some sweat off. I'm not doing those things. And I want to want it. Does that make sense? So this is a weird place to be because I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad at myself. I'm not beating myself up. I'm not pissed off that I'm still where I am. I just want to, right? And the want is really there. It's buried really far down. I think because it's just become kind of like my last priority, honestly, because I have so many other priorities, but I want this to become a priority again. I do, but I'm burnt out. I don't want to track food, and I don't think I'm going to. If I have to sit there and track every little BLT, if I got to sit there with a scale and measure every single thing I'm eating, I don't want it. I don't want it. Am I willing to do that some of the time? Of course. I'm not willing to do that 24/7 because to me it's not healthy. To me it's toxic. To me that is toxic diet culture behavior that is like we have to deprogram ourselves from that. And let me just say this. I think when you're first starting out, you do need to track. You do need to put things on a piece of paper or in an app because you don't know what you don't know. Because we are really good at lying to ourselves. We are really good at being delusional and saying, like, oh, I eat healthy all day except for this one time a day. Or, no, you don't. Like, until you put it down for a couple of weeks and kind of see your patterns and behavior, I do think there's a lot of value to that, right? But I'm at a place in my life where my eating is pretty consistent. I don't binge anymore. I don't really, I mean, every once in a while, sure, overdo it, but I'm not. I, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is growth. Maybe this is you've come so far that you don't realize how bad it used to be. I think that might be a lot of what's going on is like there's been a lot of growth in terms of how I approach food, the things that I do. And that's what I'm always telling you, like certain things just become habits. And maybe that's what's happening here. Like I don't ever think about, oh my God, I wish I could have a real Pepsi versus a Diet Pepsi. I love my Diet Pepsi. If I don't have my Diet Pepsi, everybody better watch out. Even Frank knows if there's one Diet Pepsi bottle left in the fridge, he's like, that's yours. I'm not drinking it. Like everybody better watch out. That's like if you are some type of way with your coffee, that is my coffee. And never in I don't even know. I mean, I've been drinking Diet Pepsi for like over 20 years now. I never sit there and go, "Oh god, I wish I could have real Pepsi." I hate the taste of real Pepsi. I hate it. Can't stand it. I think it's too sweet. I think it's gross. That is not something I could have said 25 years ago, right? I gotta have my water. I'm sitting here looking at my purple Stanleys, looking right at me. I need to drink some water. Um, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. It's almost yeah. Like it's been since a little couple years after high school. I never drank water. People think that is so weird. I think that's weird. We did not drink water with meals. We drank Coke, Pepsi. And I didn't start drinking water until I was a young adult. Until I went on my like pretty much like my first like adult so sad to say, isn't it? Like our first I can't say my first weight loss journey because my first weight loss journey is when I was 12. But my first major adult weight loss journey, I started drinking water and eating fruit. I never ate fruit as a kid either. So I don't think twice about filling up my Stanley with ice and water all the time. I don't think twice about it. I don't ever think, oh God, I have to drink water. Like if I don't drink water every day, multiple times a day, I don't feel good. I don't ever eat an apple. I do my little apple with peanut butter and think, oh God, I wish I could have something else. Because if I want something else, I'm going to have something else. And I think that's the thing that's changed for me so much is that I eat whatever the hell I want within reason. I'm not sitting there eating a whole cheesecake. I'm not sitting there eating I a birth you know how many birthday cakes I have thrown out over the last like years? My blog name is Irresistible Icing. There's a reason why it was named that. Like, I have thrown away birthday cakes over the last couple of years because they've literally sat in the house and I haven't wanted it. And you know what's crazy? This is like fat kid fantasy. When I was a kid, my fat kid fantasy, I remember this very clearly saying, I can't wait till I have my own house because then I can eat as much cake as I want and no one will know about it. Like, what on what planet is that healthy, normal thinking? I literally was like, I can't wait to have my own house so I can eat cake and no one's going to know about it. No one's going to know it was me. Like, I'll just eat as much as I want. And now that I've had my own house for many, many of years and I throw birthday cakes away and I don't even think about it, I just do it. And I don't stop and remember there was a time you probably could have binged an entire birthday cake. And now the thought of that makes me sick. Like, I would be so sick. I can't. Um, So it's just such a weird place to be. And I want to just acknowledge that weight loss burnout is real. Being sick and tired of thinking about food is exhausting. Um, the exhaustion of always trying to shrink yourself, you're carrying so much emotional baggage and weight because you're always trying to shrink yourself. And what do I mean by that? I mean the literal trying to shrink yourself with diet and exercise, but I also mean shrinking yourself down physically, like not physically, but like um the mental gymnastics that you do so that people don't see you, so that people don't think that you're the loud fat one in the room, so that or even like getting on the airplane and trying to squish yourself like you're trying to like just squish yourself as far as you can into the window because somehow that's going to make you look smaller or feel smaller or not be, you don't want to be a burden to the person next to you if your hips are like, spilling over a little bit. So we do these things that are absolutely mentally and emotionally exhausting, trying to shrink ourselves because we're not happy with our body and so that people don't see us as being so big, right? Like we have this narrative that we tell ourselves and we think that people are thinking about ourselves. And all of this combined, the meal planning, the tracking, the going to the gym, the thinking about food, the planning of food, shrinking yourself, trying on clothes, hating yourself, beating yourself up, all of it is so mentally draining and exhausting, and you wonder why you feel burnt out. Of course you feel burnt out. Of course you feel burnt out. And it's again, this has gone on for decades of your life, of monitoring yourself, of think about, I want you to think about like how much time you spend being hyper vigilant. You are so hyper vigilant about what kind of food are they going to have when I go there? What's on the menu? Let me Google the menu before I show up to the place. Oh my God, I haven't seen so and so in 5 years and I've put on 50 pounds. What are they going to think about me? And you start playing out how you're going to, all the comebacks that you're going to have if they say shit about your weight, or you have that one family member who's always asking you if you're on a diet and you're thinking about all of the ways you're going to combat that and the words you're going to use and how you're going to say things or how you're going to hide things. Girl, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You have been doing this for decades and it's like you're just trying to control it and hold on so tightly, right? And when I thought about myself, with the food tracking and kind of, I was like, oh, well, God, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just track your food? It's not hard. Like, it's never been easier in the history of weight loss to track what you're eating now. It's never been easier. I think Weight Watchers even has a feature where you could take a picture and it'll scan the picture and kind of figure out the points. Crazy, right? But it's not about it being easy. It's not about having access. It's not any of those things. I don't follow through with it as of lately because or for years, really, because I have spent that time learning how to eat like a quote unquote normal person. And I think I've done pretty well. I think I've really started to learn how to listen to my body. And if you are not in a place where you can't listen to your body telling you when you're hungry and when you're full, then you absolutely should be tracking things. You should be doing something so that you start to learn your patterns. And you can't learn your patterns if you're doing it all in your head all the time. And I want to say that some of us, not some of us, I think any of us listening to this podcast, we know how to lose weight. We could tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, how much to eat, how much to not eat. We know how to lose weight. That's not the problem. But you don't know how to peacefully just exist around food. You don't know how to live your life peacefully. You don't know how to live an irresistible life around food without the mental load, the mental exhaustion of everything we've been talking about. So it's not that you lack discipline. It's not that you lack motivation. It's not that you lack any of those things. You don't lack intent. You have all those things. You're just exhausted from decades of dieting, of food obsession, of shrinking yourself, of fixing everything, of monitoring, of controlling. Like, think about that. And at some point, I decided I don't need or want my life to feel like a math equation 24/7. Because the thing about it is, while you're obsessing about food, obsessing about your weight, counting calories, counting points, marking off X's and O's on your calendar about when you went to the gym and when you didn't, or when you had a perfect tracking day and when you didn't, we've all done it. Life is happening around us. Life is happening all around us while we obsess about food or not. And at some point, we have to realize what's more important. And at some point, we also have to realize I can enjoy life. I can live my life to the fullest. I can do all the things I want to do. I can be in a body that I'm not 100%, happy with or in love with yet, but I can learn to fall in love with life while I'm also working on my body. Those things can coexist. And the problem is that we were trained by society, brainwashed by society, that those two things are separate. That if you're fat, you cannot be happy and you cannot be living your life or falling in love with life. And if you're skinny, you better be in love with life and all the skinny people are having all the fun and they're happy. And the truth is, that is just not true. I know plenty of skinny people who hate themselves, who hate their bodies, who hate their lives. So we have to deprogram from what we have been taught our entire life. And what I can tell you is that weight loss burnout does not mean you're a failure. It does not mean you are lazy. It doesn't mean you're giving up. Sometimes we just need a break. If you're burnt out in life, if you're burnt out with your job, what do? You take some time off. Okay? It doesn't mean you're quitting your job. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're not ambitious anymore, but we all need time off. And what it means instead, what weight loss burnout means instead is that your approach has to change. I recognize that in myself. I've got to find things for this to be exciting for me again, right? I've got to find new foods. I've got to find new ways of eating that feel exciting to me, so that I'm not going to get burnt out with it. It may mean that you need more sustainability in your approach, something that you can do in the long term. It means that you need to stop punishing yourself, right? You can want weight loss for yourself without having your entire identity become a weight loss project. You are more than a weight loss project. You are more than a weight loss journey. That's what I was saying earlier. We can live life. We can go do the fun things. We can go to the concerts. We could go on the vacations. We could go, live it up while also going down the scale. Those things can exist. And the problem is that diet culture taught you that until you get to your goal weight, you can't have those things. Those things are for skinny people. You can't have any of that until you're at your goal weight. It taught you that weight loss has to be done in a silo. It taught you that weight loss has to be done in isolation, that while you're losing weight, you can't go out, you can't go on vacation, you can't have cake, you can't have ice cream, you can't go to the buffet, you can't go out to eat, that you have to follow this strict plan and eat 6 times a day and only have these things and weigh and measure, track, 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 and that you have to do this in an isolation. So what happens is that when you do that, and then life comes around and life be lifing, y'all. Life is like, hey, here's an unexpected bill. Oh, hey, here's a job loss. Oh, hey, you just lost somebody you care about. Oh, hey, and even the positive stuff. The positive stuff derails you and throws you off your track. You have to learn how to navigate life, period. Whether it's good, bad, or in between, or just boring monotony from the day to day. Boring and routine is good too. My kids, mommy, I'm bored. I'm bored. Good. That's great. It means you have a structure. It means you have routine. And what I tell my kids all the time, I say, you're bored. First of all, what I tell them is if you're bored, you got a million and one things in your rooms that you've been given to play with, to do, to explore. But number two, what I tell them that's most important, I said, you know what comes out of boredom? Creation. I said, what comes out of boredom? Boredom is the birthplace of creativity. Truly, it's okay to be bored. It's okay to sit in boredom. And maybe that's something I need to take away about my food as well, is like it's okay to be bored with food. And I think that it's kind of like what's happening. GLP-1 has made me eat like a normal person, like I said. When you're hungry, stop when you're full, all of those things. And that food just became boring. And maybe that's what it is too, because food was always exciting. It was like, ooh, what can I get tonight? Ooh, what can we get into today? Ooh, what kind of foods can we try? And don't get me wrong, I'm a foodie. When I go on vacation, I want to have the foods that are stereotypical to that location. I think food is part of culture. I think it's part of travel. I think it's part of enjoying and exploring. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. If I go to, let's say, France, um, I don't want to sit there and count points. I want to sit there and eat croissants and try all the cheese and all the chocolates. Like, I'm not going to sit there and deprive myself of those things because do we eat like that at home every day? No. But it's okay to be bored too. But it's just a lot. It's a lot. Like, I just want to recognize for you that weight loss burnout is 100% real. It happens, and we've got to find ways to change our approach. And it's okay for food to be boring some of the time. Like, it just is. Like, we don't have, like, everything we eat doesn't need to be fun and exciting. It's cool have those days, where you're looking forward to something, or you got a night out, or you've got something you're going to. That's cool. But on the day-to-day monotony of work, school, whatever, and we're eating kind of the same foods every day, that's fine. It's totally fine. But I want you to ask yourself a question. What if your life didn't revolve around shrinking yourself? What if that stopped consuming you? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't lose weight. I think you should if you don't want the body that you're in. I think you should lose weight if you're unhealthy. I think you should lose weight if you can't run up and down the stairs without passing out. I think you should lose weight if you can't fit into a seat normally. I have been in those positions, and I will tell you, none of those things are physically okay. They're not healthy physically. They're also doing a number on your mental and emotional health. I saw a girl the other day, and she said every time she goes somewhere, she has to research the chairs. That breaks my heart because having to not know if you can go, just go somewhere. I know what it feels like to not be able to walk in a store and not know if and know that nothing's probably going to fit. That sucks. But to also not know if you're going to be able to fit into a chair, you don't want to live your life like that. So I am definitely pro weight loss from a healthy standpoint. But what if it stopped consuming your life and it just was part of your life? And I think that's where I'm at, as I think it's just like I just don't think about it as much. But and so then when I think about, all right, I do want to lose some weight. I know I've got to make a couple changes here and there so that I can get the weight off. I just feel burnt out. Like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to think about this. If you're tired of all of this, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're just probably burnt out. And you deserve a life that's bigger than counting points, that's bigger than tracking calories. You're allowed to want peace too. You're allowed to say, I still want to lose weight. I just don't want my whole life to revolve around it anymore. Right? And back to the peace thing. Let me talk about that for a second. Over the last few years, it has become very clear to me, it has come into focus more than it ever has, that my goal in life is peace. And I've actually said that for a very long time because someone said to me, my goal is to be happy. I was like, mine isn't. My goal is not to be happy. My goal is to be at peace because happy is an exhausting emotion. It is. And I think people confuse the two things. I think a lot of people that say, I just want to be happy, I think they mean I want to feel peace in my life. Happy is just as exhausting as sad because the people that are just, oh my God, I'm like so happy all the time. And like, girl, I'm tired just thinking about that. Being at peace is just being. Like, we're just at peace no matter what happens. If something isn't going to bring me peace, I respectfully decline. And I have really embodied this over the last couple of years, especially like with work, right? Like being a structural design freelancer, I set my own schedule. I have my clients. I work as much or as little as I want, in different seasons of my life. And I have no desire to ever be an employee ever again. I have no desire to have to put in these bullshit goals. My goals, my career goals, I am living the goal. I, I'm living my goal. I don't have any other goals. I have worked my ass off to be where I am. I have been in this career field for like 20 plus years. I have earned where I am, and I have no desire to really go I'm doing what I want to be doing because I don't have this desire to climb a ladder that doesn't exist. I don't have a desire to kiss ass and play politics and play patty cake with so and so and so and so to nah, that does not bring me peace. What brings me peace is my lovely clients that I do work for. I love the environment that I have with them. I love the relationship, the rapport. I put in the work. I do a job really, really good for them. And I go home at the end of the day, literally, I mean, I don't really go home. I'm already home, but you get my drift. I shut my computer off and life is good. Life is good. Peace for me is going to my kids' graduations for pre-K. Peace for me is being able to dip out in the mid-afternoon and go to the aquarium with my kids or go out to the pool and have, slushy drinks. That's my peace. What does your peace look like? Because a lot of us were chasing things that we thought we were supposed to be chasing when we didn't even really want it in the first place. Ask yourself that. When it comes to weight, do you actually even care about losing weight? Is that something you really want, or do you think you're supposed to lose the weight? And maybe, just maybe, wherever you are in your weight, you could actually be okay and just stay here. Maybe you don't have to lose anymore. But only you can answer that. Only you can really do the deep work to figure that out. And again, we can want to lose weight without our whole life revolving around it. And if your whole life is revolving around it, you're not doing it right. You're doing it from a toxic diet culture standpoint. And I have to give credit back to the Irresistible You framework too, because those are guiding principles that I just live my life by. Period. I do. And I know for a fact that including those guiding principles and them really becoming ingrained in the type of life that I live has kept me from gaining 100 pounds again because I got sad, from gaining 100 pounds because I got depressed, from gaining 100 pounds again because I was lost in life and didn't know what was around the corner next. Those have given me lifelong skills that I use every single day. And it's not like I sit here and go, okay, let me think about the irresistible you framework. No, it's just how I live my life. It's like the principles of my life. It's embedded into my value system. And those values are what got me also out of toxic diet culture because I had already done a ton of work on that. The GLP-1, what that changed is it enhanced what I was already doing. It made it to where I don't have to constantly redirect thoughts all day long because the thoughts are far and few between like they used to be. The food noise is greatly reduced. Doesn't mean it's not there sometimes because it is. But I think a lot of it is that we put so much entertainment value into food that when we don't crave food anymore and we don't have the food noise, we're just like, this is weird. I don't know what to do with this. So if you're early on in that journey too, I just want to tell you that like it's going to feel weird because you don't know what to do with yourself because you've always revolved your life around food and weight loss. And it's a wild thing to go from living like that to living where you're just living, like actually living, not just surviving. And you're not gaining weight and you're losing weight sometimes. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about that. So in this episode, it's just a lot of talking. I don't have a lot of answers for you as far as like you're going to do X, Y, and Z to get started. I think maybe the next episode I might try to do that because I need to do some soul searching and figure out what what are the tangible next steps that I need to take if I really want to start losing the weight again. If I really want to get healthy. And that's the thing, right? I know that sounds so cliche. It's not just losing weight for me, it's getting healthier, it's getting more fit, getting things to not sag and shrink and sag and shrink. I'm about to be 45 next month. I don't think so. Like, we got work to do here. We got work to do that's not just about a number on the scale. Okay. So I don't know yet what my plan is. As I build that plan, I'm going to share it with you. But I do know if you need a starting place, the Irresistible You framework is a great place to begin. And if you head over to irresistibleicing.com/course, you can grab my online self-study course. It also comes with a private podcast. So the entire course is in audio format, so you can listen to it just like you're listening to this now. And that's a great place for you to start in the meantime. But yeah, guys, this is it. I'm going to wrap it up. Make sure you stay connected. I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Irresistible Icing. Until next time, I will catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay irresistible. Bye, guys.